vapes as the Philippines has already made with cigarettes. Since 2010, Australia has raised excise taxes by 800%. A 20-pack of cigarettes now costs $40. You can find a similar product for between $12 to $14 on the black market. So about 3 times less than the legal product. At $12, a pack of cigarettes is as cheap as a legal pack was back in the mid-1990s. Similarly, in the Philippines, you can buy a pack for as little as 40 pesos on the black market, and unfortunately, your increasing adolescent smoking rates suggest that this is attracting new customers to the smoking habit. At 140 pesos for the legal packet, this is 3.5 times the illicit price and an obvious driver of the black market. The drop in legal consumers is most obvious when viewing the falling revenue rates. Australia has gone from 16.3 billion in 2020 to just 7.4 billion, a drop of 55% in just 5 years. The revenue in the Philippines has dropped 24% in the last 3 years. It's highly likely that the tobacco revenue here will follow Australia on that downward path unless there is a significant policy intervention from yourselves. The revenue returns for both our countries have followed a classic Laffer curve response, showing that the sweet spot when the excise rate for tobacco maximised the returns happened some years ago now. Economic theory shows that further increases to taxes will not increase revenue, it will only accelerate the decline. Both of our governments have misread the effect the explosion of the illicit market will have on those returns. This leads me to discuss the government forces that are charged with holding back the tide, our customs officers and other enforcement agencies. They are being bombarded with a virtual tsunami of illicit product. Border agencies are doing the best they can, but they're simply not resourced to cope with such volumes. To do so effectively would come at a massive cost to the state. Both Australia and the Philippines face similar difficulties in protecting our borders. Both of us have huge coastlines with many remote locations able to act as windows for illicit products. The Philippines has the added problem of being located right in the middle of some of the key source countries of illicit tobacco, including China, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Indonesia. While Australia has an increasing number of organised crime groups entering this illicit trade, the Philippines has the significant complication of having terrorist organisations using illicit tobacco profits to support their activities. While this new tobacco bill provides some welcome enhancements for law enforcement, the greatest help you could provide them is to freeze or reduce the excise rate, thereby suppressing the key driver. Police always talk in terms of prevention being better than the cure. Notably, Singapore and Malaysia froze taxes for some years, and it had a positive effect on their illicit rates. Apart from the changes to your taxation and enforcement that you're already looking at, I would urge the Philippines to consider tobacco harm reduction strategies. The science is clear that combustible tobacco is the most dangerous form of nicotine consumption. There are, however, numerous healthier alternatives to cigarettes, like vapes and pouches, for those who cannot or do not want to quit their nicotine habits. If the Philippines were to incentivise those safer products through proportionate tax measures, combined with an education campaign, you might find that a sizable proportion of your smoking community moves to safer products, which would greatly benefit the health of your community. Finally, Australia's policy mistakes should be a flashing red light for Philippine regulators. We've seen the chaos that follows when taxation overshoots its mark. The result hasn't been better public health. It was black markets, violence, and billions of dollars of lost revenue. The Philippines has the chance to get this right. By taking a proportionate, evidence-based approach, the Philippines can reduce smoking, stabilise revenue, and keep its citizens safer and healthier. Thank you.
Can you, if you have those studies from Australia, and I think you mentioned Singapore and what's the other?
Singapore froze their rates for 8 years from 2006, and Malaysia, I think it was around 2010. I think they froze it for 3 to 5 years. Again, that is historical now, some time ago, but the evidence at that time showed that illicit rates reduced and gave the enforcement agencies a chance to catch up.
Just submit to the committee those studies.
Yes.
Yeah. So we can take a look at those.
I certainly will.
Thank you. Yeah, we have some. I have some questions, but I'll ask it later on so we can hear all of our resource persons. We're also joined by Mr. Giz the Best.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's actually Gijs the
Oh,
best.
sorry, high is the best.
Yeah, and you pronounce it perfectly. You pronounce it perfectly fine in the morning. So I was impressed by that pronunciation. I'm representing PMFTC Inc., the Philippine affiliate of Philip Morris International. So thank you for your time. First, you asked feedback on the unitary tax rate and what our position was. We agree on a unitary tax rate for freebase and nicotine salt products. However, our position is that it should be a lower rate versus combustible cigarettes. There's no combustion when using vape products, so we advocate for risk proportionate taxation. Vape is like heated tobacco products, and for that, I want to defer to the US FDA, who confirms that, and I'm gonna cite from them. And I'm focused on heated tobacco first, but then followed by e-cigarettes. The IQOS system heats tobacco, but does not burn it. This significantly reduces the production of harmful and potentially harmful chemicals. Scientific studies have shown that switching completely from conventional cigarettes to the IQOS system significantly reduces your body's exposure to harmful or potentially harmful chemicals. This is FDA, US. And then Mitch Zeller, the director of the FDA Center for Tobacco Products, adds, data shows that marketing these particular products, and he's talking about heated tobacco products, with the authorized information could help addicted adult smokers transition away from combusted cigarettes and reduce their exposure to harmful chemicals, but only if they completely switch. I'm just citing them. On top, there are many other countries that have similar opinions, and I just cite from the UK House of Commons Science and Technology, their committee report. And this is related to e-cigarettes. There's clear evidence that e-cigarettes are substantially less harmful than conventional cigarettes. Public Health England estimate e-cigarettes as 95% less harmful, although the evidence available does not currently allow a precise figure to be determined. So earlier we heard a quit rate of 4%. Hence, for us, it's ineffective at the moment, so we rather propose or encourage shifting to better products. So that's our position in general. And then on a related note, Mr. Chair, you have been asking for revenue predictions, right, for the various tax proposals. And for the complete appreciation of the committee, we have prepared revenue projections. And if you allow me, I have 3 slides. I can quickly guide you through.
Yes, please go ahead.
We can skip that. Oh, we go very fast now. If you go one back, sorry. Okay. Thus far, the focus was on the illicit industry, but we didn't talk really about the more about the legit tobacco industry. Sorry, but what we ignored is the fact that we have a 20% plus illicit trade incidents, and I'm talking 11 to 11.5 billion cigarettes. Never talk about lost government revenues. Let alone that is 40 billion pesos per year. I'm talking 40 billion pesos for cigarettes alone. If I add the VAT to it, it's another 10 plus billion pesos. We talk 50 billion pesos per annum on government revenue loss purely by illicit. So the root cause comes from the fact that we have had substantial excise tax increases year on year. To put some numbers behind, you see bottom left, in 2012, the excise tax rate was 272 per pack versus 66.2 per pack today. This is a 23 times increase. On a CAGR, a compound average growth rate, this is 30%, whereas inflation had a CAGR of 3% in the same period, and government collections went 13% up. These substantial tax increases forced us as an industry to take pricing and pass it on to the consumer. And this has resulted in a substantial total market decline. You see the numbers there, 103 billion in 2012, 56 in 2021, and now 44 billion in 2024. And also to correct our profits, this led to a substantial decline in total market, as well as steep decline in government revenues. You see 176 billion in 2021, all the way down to 134 billion in 2024. This is a massive decrease. And that's what I wanted to say earlier, also to correct some statements that